into this conversation with them so that they can be able to join us and enjoy everything that we're also going to be discussed. I can see Nyang from Gambia. I can see Adewale from United Kingdom. And I can also see Friday from UK, Grace from London. Fantastic. You are all welcome to this conversation for this evening. And every other person that may not be able to pick their own, but I see you. And I want you to know that by virtue of you being here, you're already a smart person. Okay. So I also want to know if you've been in any of our sessions before now. Okay. So if you've been in our session before now, feel free to put any comments. But today is your first time of being here. Please just type in a 1 so that we'll know people that will be sharing freebies too, because today is the first time that they are joining any of our conversations. So if today is the first time, feel free to type in a 1. But if you've been here before, type or put anything in the comment section as it pleases you. Okay, fantastic. Raphael, first time. Yemi, first time. Ugochukwu, same thing. Meso, first thing. Emmanuel, and every other person. I think everyone on this call today is their first time of being here. So we have an amazing thing for you. Trust me. So make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues will be dropping in the comment section as well. Okay, when you fill the attendance form, we used the details there to send the slide that we're using for this conversation to you. And we're also going to send to you the recorded version of this conversation. In case you had network glitch or you had to take a call or anything, made you to miss a second, and always go through the slide and also go through the recorded version of the conversation and be able to understand everything that you missed. Okay, so who exactly is organizing this discussion for this evening? So we are Analytics, and we are the leading educational technology company that's helping people of the Black community to break into tech career paths. Okay, we specialize in training in tech skills. Okay, and we use project-based model to teach people, and then they move from our own classroom into landing their own roles. Over the last couple of years, we've helped close to 3,000 people in US, UK, Canada, and of course, Europe and Africa, and also Asia, to move from our classroom into landing their first jobs. And we only specialize on 8 courses, okay? And that includes data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, full stack data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, that's Scrum Master, cybersecurity, and then also soon to come, AI engineering. So I'm going to also explain to you why we only offer just these 8 courses. So make sure that you stay tuned. All right. Hello, everyone. I hope you can still hear me. Okay, just a couple of, just give me 1 minute, and I'm going to bring up my screen again. Okay, I had a little bit of technical glitch there. Right, just a minute, and I should be right up to continue with our conversation. All right, but like I was saying, this event is organized by Analytics, and how we help people to break into tech career paths is we teach you using project-based model, where you can easily be able to learn using the experience of people that have been in the industry before now. So many times people struggle to understand the tech skills that they are learning because they are learning it in a more theoretical approach. Okay, so what we do here is we teach you using the real life practical examples that you need for you to be able to land a job out there. So it's as good as you are consulting with us. And we've been doing this for close to 5 years now. And like I said earlier, we've taught close to 3,000 people to move from our own classroom into landing roles across the globe. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my screen now. Please make my second device a co-host so that I can be able to share instantly for us to continue this discussion that we are having. Hello, Finn, are you there? All right, thank you for that. My screen should be up in the next couple of seconds. Okay, fantastic. Okay, and who am I that have been speaking to you since we started this conversation? My name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and I'm the CEO of Analytics. Over the last couple of years, I've played in so many industries on several roles. Okay, I've served as a dynamic tech consultant and also a governance, risk, and compliance officer in so many companies. Okay, I started my career in GRC in the banking sector, worked as a head of control in the fintech industry, also as a data analyst in the fintech industry, as well as a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. Okay, so feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Ekpa, or Twitter at Emeka_Highs, or Instagram at Ekpa_Chooks. And we're going to take this discussion personal and be able to see how we can help you to move from our own classroom into landing your first role. Okay, so moving on, what exactly are we going to be doing here today? So I want you also to be able to type in specifically what you want to take out from this conversation. I'm going to be going through the comment section for me to pick out what we've been able to drop. Okay, but I've been able to identify a couple of things that we need to be able to discuss. Okay, number one is, why do smart people fail to secure quality and high-paying jobs? Okay, so this is the first thing that we are going to be looking at. And then number two is, how do you get started? Okay, so you as a smart person, how do you get into the possibility of you securing high and quality jobs and also be able to control the outcome of your future? So number three is, we are going to be also be showing you that other people has been able to do this. So, and if they were able to do it, so can you. So you'll be able to see a couple of success stories of people before you that have been able to go on this journey and they made changes to their own career path. Then lastly, we'll talk about our special discounted offer to you, which we call the International Women's Day offer. So stay on the call, because this is going to be beneficial to people that stays true to this conversation. Okay, so aside these four things that I've been able to put down here, if you have a different thing that you want to take out from this conversation, please feel free to put it in the comment section, and we are going to pick it up from there. Okay, and also make sure that you fill the attendance form, because that is what we are going to be using to send the recorded version of this discussion and also the slide that we prepared to you after the conversation. So we're going to jump straight into our conversation. Is there anybody on this call that do not consider themselves to be a smart person? Okay, if you're on this call and you don't consider yourself to be a smart person, please feel free to put it in the comment section so that I'll be sure that I know people that I'm also speaking to. If you do not consider yourself a smart person, put it on the comment section. Or if you are a smart person, also feel free to put it there so that I'll be sure that you guys can actually hear what we are about to get into. So why exactly do a couple of smart people struggle? You know, when we're in secondary school or university days, if you look back and check out how those backbenchers are doing right now, you're going to see that it is not always about being book smart that is going to get you to the point where you want to be. When I was in school, I was amongst the top people in my class. I mean, there's this guy we all looked up to then. I mean, he came out with first class, right? He came out with first class in Nigeria. And one key thing that we all understood from his own approach was that he is 100% book smart. Okay, so when I mention that someone is book smart, means that when you come, I studied civil engineering, by the way. Okay, so if you're in a different course and you feel like this might not be for you, just know that a lot of us in this tech space wouldn't start up from studying computer science or any tech-related degree. Okay, so back to my story. He had first class. Okay, after each semester, this guy is always having A's all through. But when we finished our university, a couple of things happened that we realized that it is not just about the degree. Okay, which is why some of us struggle as of today. Because one key thing that we've shaped our lives to look like is towards the academic approach, which is why number one thing I want us to understand, which is the reason why some of us struggle as of today, is about mindset and also some strategy gaps. Okay, your mindset and also strategy gaps needs to be changed for you to see it from a different approach. Okay, number one thing I want us to look at is overestimating our academic qualification. I think one Sabon dropped something. Does GPA really matter in the world of work? Fantastic question, Sabon. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Overestimating academic qualification. So, Sabon, your question is also tilted to what I'm already talking about. One major mistake that we always think is that because of our GPA, because of our academic qualification, we are already destined for these kind of places, or we're already destined to land all those high-paying jobs. But I'm here to tell you that it is not entirely true. Okay, so even though GPA is very important, okay, don't get me wrong, GPA is very important, but the world of tech has changed everything as of today. So I'll give you an example. When I was the head of control in the fintech industry, our CTO, that's the Chief Technology Officer, this guy didn't have any university degree. And he was our CTO, controlling all of us that had degrees. Now, let me ask us one very important question. What's his GPA? Okay, so even him, he doesn't have any GPA because he's still not even in the university. So what he did was that he already a CTO. After a couple of years, he had to go back to school to try and get a degree. But that degree at that moment is not for the GPA, just for it to be that he actually has a GPA. And if you look at a couple of the movers and shakers of the world as of today, I know we always look at, oh, they dropped out. Don't concentrate on the fact that they dropped out. Some of them, they were home tutored. Some of them had access to things that we do not have access to. And they are all education. So that is what I want you to understand. Education can come in several forms. It doesn't just have to be about academic approach. So we overestimate our academic qualification. And I want you to, first of all, have this understanding today. So let me write it down so that we clearly see it. COC. Okay? And it means competence over credentials. Okay? Competence over credentials. I hope we all can see my screen. Competence over credentials. So this is one major thing that you as a smart person may be tilting towards that is not ideal. Okay, so if you are still tilting towards credential as at today, you need to have a mental shift. You need to re-strategize and know that it is not about credentials right now. If you're active on LinkedIn, you would have noticed that a couple of people may have reached out to you and said, oh, hello, Chukwemeka, do you want to write this examination? We can help you to, pass that examination. All you have to do is just pay us. We're going to sit in front of a screen for you. We're going to write it for you. All you have to do is just on the day of the exam, log in and just sit in front of the system. Now, recruiters also know this. They know that these days credentials can be gotten through so many ill forms. And that is why they prioritize competence. Okay, so you need to have that mindset and strategy that your main approach should be towards building competence and not over-reliance or overestimating your academic qualification. Like I said earlier, academic qualification is very, very important, okay? It's going to at least help you to a certain level, but competence is what's going to get you all those amazing, lucrative, high-paying jobs that you are looking for. Number two is lack of adaptability and resilience to pivots, okay? Most smart people that I've come across today, there's always this fear when you talk about, oh, this is where the next big thing is coming from. They will always tell you, oh, no, let me just stay here that's, working for me and be able to, pursue life from there. I think there's a question from Caroline. Which path shall I follow to data governance and AI ethics as the career path? What trainings do I need? So Caroline, definitely I'm going to touch base with all those things within this discussion that we have for today. Okay, so number two, within mindset and strategy gaps is lack of adaptability and resilience to pivot. So I'm going to tell my own life story. I studied civil engineering and I consider myself a smart person. Okay, I consider myself a smart person. And after civil engineering, I practiced a couple of months, and then it wasn't really paying me what I needed for it to pay me back in Nigeria then. So what did I do? I said then banking was the hot cake then. We all thought, oh, banking is the next big thing. Once you're a banker, you should be able to make money from there and all those kind of things. And what did I do? Instantly, I did a couple of courses and pivoted and transitioned to banking straight. Okay, transition to banking straight. I was in the bank, then tech started coming up. Oh, tech is next big thing. Tech is the oil, the next oil, and so on and so forth. What did I do? I dusted by myself again and pivoted to tech. Now, you don't even need to move or leave your exact space. So right there in the bank, what did I do? I started taking a couple of courses. Okay, I got trained as a data analyst. Then I was working as a GRC professional, which is motivated to cybersecurity. So I transitioned to data analytics, then moved to business, and then back to cybersecurity. Right when I was still in the bank, I didn't change company. Okay, so anything that you want to achieve in the tech space, I want you to also know that tech is applicable to any sector of the economy. So even if you're in entertainment, even if you're in oil and gas, you are in banking, you are in education, there is an aspect of tech that can be infused into what you are doing. So entirely, you don't have to leave your space for you to now be able to get into the tech space. So number one thing that I want all of us on this call to also understand with respect to mindset and strategy gaps is lack of adaptability and resilience to pivot. And when we talk about pivoting, pivot is not something that is easy. Okay, it's something like you have to, make sure that you have the grit that you want to do this. Okay, because when you are trying to transition, there are going to be doubts that will come into your mind. Okay, this place that I'm trying to get into, are you sure it is meant for me? Are you sure this is going to pay me more than what I'm already getting? Which is why I always suggest to people that when transitioning, you don't have to leave the sector of the economy that you are presently in. Learn the skills, get the experience, and then perform it on that sector before you can now start looking to transition to a different sector of the economy. So make sure that you understand everything I've mentioned with respect to mindset and strategy gaps. Okay. Number one is overestimating academic qualification. We over rely on academic qualification. And then number two is we lack the adaptability and resilience to pivot. So what it means is that you need to find a way not to overestimate your academic qualification. I mean, today, there are a lot of graduates. So you can't say it's really because you are a graduate. There are a lot of master's degree holders. There are a lot of MBA holders. I even have an MBA, all right? There are a lot of MBA holders outside there. So don't overestimate your academic qualifications. And then number two, don't make sure that you can easily adapt and be resilient towards transitioning or pivoting to a different space. So number two reason why smart people also struggle, number two main heading is networking and visibility issues. All right, networking and visibility issues. Most of us struggle today because, we are very smart, extremely smart. But then when it comes to networking and being visible, our approach to it is zero. Okay, I'm going to give us an example. I have a friend. She's one of the best copywriters I know out there. But when it comes to visibility, she's not there. Okay, so how do you want to be seen when you are not visible? She's extremely smart, but she's just okay with the fact that, oh, I'm already here and I'm giving them amazing things, that taking amazing things from me as well. But for you to get to the next step of where you want to be at, you need to start considering networking and also visibility. So most smart people as of today, when it comes to being visible, that is where we also lack it. Because, we are not social media guys. We're just net people. We read, we do things that we have to do. But when it comes to social media and being visible, we're not really there. So if you're a smart person and you are struggling also to land all those high-paying jobs, you may want to start considering your visibility issues, okay? And also start considering networking. So number one thing around that networking and visibility is your ability to build a personalized brand. Okay, and that comes around failure to build a personalized brand. Now, I was speaking to my staff a couple of weeks back, and I said something around LinkedIn optimization for all of them. Okay, because one key thing I realized is that if all my staff internalists have their LinkedIn active there, they're talking about things they are doing, it is not for internalists that they are doing it for. They are unconsciously also building their own personal brands. Okay, and tomorrow, one amazing people might decide to, oh, you are doing something amazing, come over here. I mean, I always say that if you are doing something amazing, people are always going to come after you. It's our responsibility as a company to make sure that we do our best to keep those best hands. But for you as a smart person, make sure that you are visible out there. You might have all the amazing ideas. You might have you might be the best, data analyst out there, best data engineer out there. But if you are not visible, nobody is going to know you. And also, there's also this notion around, oh, I don't want to be visible out there. I don't want to be socially available. But then, how do you get to the next point without being available there? Okay, so you want to also consider your networking and visibility issues. Number 2 around the networking and visibility issues is your lack of industry connections. Now, when you build your personal brand, what happens around this is that you are going to be attracting like-minded individuals. Okay, like-minded individuals. Most time when I started posting on Instagram, when I was starting my life newly, it was always different kind of people connecting with me on Instagram that are not really tilted towards the journey I was about to start. Okay, and what I realized is because I was just posting my fine pictures there. Oh, posting my fine pictures, posting being here, and all those kind of things. So it was just attracting people that found it attractive. But when I started talking about things that also relate to tech, which is in the space that I'm in, you started bringing like-minded people to that space also. So if you are looking to be a data analyst or to be a data scientist or a data engineer or any aspect of the tech ecosystem, there is need for you to also build industry connections. And the only way to build those industry connections is for you to build your personalized brand. And the only way for you to build a personalized brand is for you to talk about what you do visibly. Okay, so if you're a smart person and you are still struggling to land roles, you may want to also consider this number 2 option that we have there, which is around networking and visibility issues. I don't know if we are still following me till this very moment. Are we still following me till this very moment? If you are still here with me, please type anything in the comment section so that I'll be sure that there are people that can hear me clearly. Okay? Can anyone hear me? Are we understanding? Are we following? I like a very interactive class, so please feel free to communicate with me so that I'll be sure that you are there. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, iPhone. Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you, Chinonso, and others that have been able to type a couple of things there. Okay, like I said earlier, make sure that you have your pen and paper because everything I'm dropping is very important. And also, make sure that you fill the attendance form so they can be able to have access to this slide and also access the recorded version of this discussion so that you can also be able to go through it and be able to understand everything. So, Temitope, you said no. What exactly is the challenge, Temitope? Do you mind dropping it in the comment section? What challenge are you having, Temitope? Before I move on to the number 3 reason why smart people struggle. Remember, number 1 is around mindset and strategy gaps. Okay. Number 1 is around mindset and strategy gaps. Overestimating academic qualification and also lack of adaptability and resilience to pivot. Then number 2, we are now looking at your networking and visibility issues. Have you been able to build a personalized brand? And then also your lack of industry connection because you've not actually shown a particular brand of what you represent. Before I move on to number 3, let me see if some type anything. Okay, no comments. I guess I have to move on to number 3. So number 3 is around your skill and experience gaps. Okay, number 3 is around your skills and experience gap. And I don't want us to look at it as, oh, I have to get number 1 before I get number 2 or before I get number 3. It can come in different formats. Okay, any of them can actually come before the other. Well, in fact, I always, recommend to people to build number 3 first, which is skill and experience. There is need for you to build your skill and experience. Now, most smart people struggle also because we possess outdated skills. Okay, we possess outdated skills. Some of us, we studied a couple of courses, we got into the places we are by virtue of what we grew up into. If I tell you guys my life story, you're not going to believe it. All right. So I got into civil engineering by virtue of my dad. Then he told me a couple of stories. Oh, can I see this guy? This guy is single-handedly building a hall for one of the religious bodies out there, and he studied civil engineering. Okay, so because of that, I got into civil engineering because I felt, oh, this person can single-handedly build a hall for a religious body. It means that there is money in civil engineering. But getting into there, I mean, Nigeria happened to us, okay? And nobody told me that I need to be able to upscale. So most of us are smart, but the places that we are smart, they are already outdated. Okay, you are smart, but you are smart on outdated things. Imagine someone that used to be, let's assume you are just an Excel expert, and then we'll have things like Power BI, we'll have SQL, we'll have Python coming up. You're already possessing sort of skills, like even though it is not outdated, but there are other things that you need to be able to add to it for you to be very, very relevant. Okay, so we are smart on things that are not relevant in the world of today. Okay, we are very smart on things that are not relevant in the world of today. So if you are smart and you've not been able to land all those roles that you are looking for, you may want to look at upskilling and also getting experience. Okay, number 2 under the skills and experience gaps is around your inability to show impact-driven projects. Now, how do you want to get experience without getting a job? Okay, because recruiters will always mention, oh, I want someone with 2 to 3 years of experience in this space. So how do you, without that exact experience, get into the sector of the economy without a job? So that is where it's important for you to learn using impact-driven projects. Okay, so when we talk about what we do here at Analytics, it's not just around teaching you classroom approach. Okay, right in the classroom, you are working on real life projects that you can comfortably be able to beat your chest and say, oh, while I was consulting with Analytics, I worked on this project, I did this, I did that, and this was the task I carried out, this was the action, and then return, it improved the revenue of this company. So when you speak like that, it's going to show people that are interviewing that you actually understand where you are coming from, and you've been able to give an impact that is also tilted towards projects. So when you speak like that, clearly they will understand that you have an experience. Okay, so number 3 is around skills and experience. So first, make sure that you are not possessing outdated skills. Okay, make sure that you are not possessing outdated skills. I don't know if people can see here. Okay, fantastic. Make sure that you are not possessing outdated skills. All right. Number 3 is skills and experience gaps. Under skills and experience gaps, we have things like possessing outdated skills and inability to demonstrate impact-driven projects. So you need to be able to build yourself to have all these 3 things that we have here fully sorted out. Okay, so if you're a smart person and you're looking to land high-paying jobs, you need to consider all these 3 things that I've been able to mention today. Number 1 is around your mindset. Please, let's confirm that we can still hear me. I can see that my screen just went off right now. Please, can we still hear me? Okay, fantastic. You can still hear me. All right. I think my second screen is having a couple of issues. All right, let me quickly bring it up again. So like I said, number 1 thing that you as a smart person need to understand is your mindset and strategy needs to change. Okay, your mindset and strategy needs to change with respect to overestimating academic qualification and then your lack of adaptability and resilience. Then number 2 You need to also be able to network and also be visible out there. Okay. Then number three, you need to also build your skills and experience, because that's the easiest way that you can be able to break into the industry. Build your skills and also build up your experience as well. I hope we all got that. I hope we all got that. So let's move on. Next thing that we also need to understand is that when you are looking to break into the tech space, we are looking to land high-paying jobs, a couple of things are also important for you. All right. I hope you can hear me now, so I have to sort out my issues once and for all. Okay. So like I was saying, most things that we do when we try to break into the tech space is that we also make the issue of moving into career paths that also may not be relevant for us in the next coming years. Okay. How do you get into spaces that you are sure is going to be relevant for you? So everything that I've talked about what smart people can do to be able to get into all these roles, that is how we've been able to help a lot of people to break into the tech industry. So quickly, I will tell you a story about Ikmat. So Ikmat used to be, she considers herself to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. Okay. And then she moved to UK. She stayed at home for like 2 to 3, 4 years. Okay, as a mom trying to bring up her kids. Okay, and then the time came for her to come back into the industry, and she came to us. She was trained as a data analyst, and she landed a role as a data analyst with the NHS, fully visa sponsored. Okay, maybe before this conversation is over today, I may play Ikmat's story for us to also hear from her own mouth how she was able to also make this switch. We also have others like Ramat. Ramat used to be a customer success rep. Okay, Ramat moved from being a customer success representative to a business analyst also in the UK. Okay, she moved from being a customer rep to becoming a business analyst. So this is to also show you that no matter the career path that you are coming from, it is possible for you to also be able to get into the tech space. All you need is to build the skill, build the experience, build that competence, because your degree alone will not cut it for you. Once you're able to achieve those things, you can also be able to land all those jobs that you are looking for. You can also see someone like Tony. Tony studied pharmacy in the university. She is a pharmacist, and she was working with the NHS, but she got tired of coming into the office every single time. So she also came to her and said, "Oh, I want to get a skill that is going to allow me to work remotely." Okay, and she did data analytics, and she landed a benefit analyst role with also the NHS. All right, this is to show you that it is possible. So let's consider these three ladies that we have here. Ikmat, she came from being full-time stay-at-home mom, which means she was out of job for a lot of years. Ramat came from being a customer rep, and then Tony came from being a pharmacist. These are all different sectors, different diverse perspectives, but they were all able to land roles in the tech ecosystem by first getting the skill, getting the experience, and building up their CVs as well. So on my next slide, you can also see other people that were able to also make the same move. Okay, so about Hope. When Hope came to us, this is Hope. Hope, she is already a certified Scrum Master, right? She had project management and Scrum Master certification, but she still struggled to land a job. Now, this is to also show you that certification is not everything that you need for someone to break into this space. Okay, remember what I said earlier, it is competence over credential. So Hope, she was a certified PM or Scrum Master, but she struggled. So she came to us, also joined the Agile Project Management Program in September 2024. And by December of 2024, she also landed a job as a project analyst with Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. So this is to show you that it is 100% possible. We have a lot of other success stories. So please make sure that you fill the attendance form so that by the time you get to it, you can easily look and watch what they had to say for you to be able to also make your own decision. So Flora is asking, can someone in the medical field continue with analytics? Fantastic question, Flora. Now, I'm going to explain this using one basic approach. All right, so let me use the medical field of nursing as an example. If you are a nurse, okay, so this is a nurse for today, all right, your basic things that are coming to the hospital to do most time is to find out what happened to this individual. What happened to this individual and why did it happen to him? Then you recommend or prescribe or anything that aligns to it. Now, when we talk about data analytics also, this is now your typical data analyst. Now, data analysts, when they analyze data, they're going to tell you two basic things around that data, and it's around descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics, and then they also prescribe their own recommendation. So when we talk about descriptive, it's also what happened. And then when we talk about diagnostic, it is around why did it happen. So clearly, you can see that these are all the same principle. A nurse is coming to the hospital to diagnose, ask the people there, okay, what happened to you, why, and then be able to recommend something. A data analyst is also looking at data to be able to understand what happened and why did that thing happen. So you can already see the similarity. The difference is now one person is looking at it from the health aspect, while the other person is looking at it from the data aspect. So if you are still thinking whether analytics is possible for you in the health space, 100% it is possible. All right. Even as of today, we have programs or tech career path that is health informatics analysts. They are all people in the health space that have been able to learn how to leverage data to be able to make decisions. I can see a couple of questions dropping now around their own specific career paths. Now, we may have, I'll be able to take all these questions in the end, okay? Ibrahim is asking, how about someone who is a support worker? What field can you recommend? Fantastic. With finance background, what is best to study? I can see everyone is dropping their own history, but if we continue like that, I may not be able to finish our discussion, but listen attentively, because everything I'll be able to talk about today will be able to capture what you need to know. Esther is asking, please, is there any difference between analytics and Amdari's course offering that Mr. Adeza mentioned before? Fantastic. Now, analytics offering is fully around teaching you the skills and giving you experience to land roles. So we're going to teach you and then also give you an access to Amdari for you to get experience. Now, Amdari is fully about how do you get experience? You already have the skill and you need to get the experience. How do you build up all those wealth of experience that you need? I hope that answers your question, Esther. So if you already have the skill, for instance, as a data person, you have, you know how to use Excel, Power BI, SQL, Tableau, you know how to use them, but you don't have experience, then you need to now go to Amdari and work on their consulting aspect to be able to get all those experience. But if you do not have the skill understanding, it means that you have to start your own journey from here. I hope that answers your question clearly, Esther. All right, fantastic. Now, you are smart, but do not know the in-demand career path that you need to take. Now, this is not an, not to taunt anyone. Like I said, all of us on this call, we are all smart people. So here is where the future is moving. I'm going to walk us where the future is moving. And if you did your initial Econs 101, I can't remember what we call it back then in school, Economics 101, or you studied economics in school, you understand the simple law of demand and supply, right? So when demand is high, so this is demand. When demand is high and supply is low, what do we think happens to price? Okay, when demand is high and supply is low, what happens to price? Let me see if I can still remember a couple of things back from basic economics. Demand is high, supply is low. what happens to price? Esther said price decreases. Okay, that's not entirely true. Moses says price go up. Fantastic. Oluwafumike said price will increase. So that is accurate. So once demand is, demand is high, but supply is low, those little people that can be able to even supply, their own price will go up. And this is what I want all of us to be able to take advantage of. Okay, so we're bringing economics into tech for you to be able to understand how do you identify all those in-demand career paths that also have low supply that you can easily be able to get into and be able to land all those high-paying jobs. So first thing that we always do is we always scrape all the job boards that are very top out there. Okay, we look at LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, Monster, CV Library, and so on and so forth. And we concentrate on 3 basic countries, UK, US, and Canada. So if you're joining us from a different country, don't feel that you are left behind, okay? So the reason why we always use these 3 main countries is because, most countries are looking up to these guys, okay? So that's why we always use them as our specimen. So we scraped all the jobs that were posted in all these job boards, UK, US, and Canada, and then analyze them through 3 basic metrics. Okay, number 1 is the ease of learning. Okay, which of those jobs can you easily be able to learn? You are coming from a background of being a teacher, you're coming from being a nurse, you're coming from being a pharmacist, you're coming from being a civil engineer like myself. Which of those courses can you easily learn? Okay, and then number 2, which of them has the transition, the transferable skills, ease of transition? For instance, let me also give us an example. You are a teacher today. So this is a teacher. As a teacher, you interact with your students. You interact with parents. And also you interact with, let me say, your management team. All right, so what you are actually performing is what we can call stakeholder analysis. All right, stakeholder analysis. And the career path that stakeholder analysis tilts to easily is the business analyst. All right, so if you're a teacher and you've been able to interact with all these different stakeholders by virtue of teaching, and communication is not your own, it shouldn't be a pain point for a teacher, you are carrying out what we call stakeholder analysis without even knowing. So if you are looking to break into the tech sector and you're not saying, oh, I want to be a cybersecurity person, you are already moving away from the area that you have transferable skills. All right, so that ease of transitioning is one thing that will enable you to be able to get into the tech space easily. But if you're not looking to break a career path that you don't have all those transferable skills, then it simply means that you have to give extra time, extra effort for you to be able to break into that space. Okay, so remember what I said. We've analyzed all those jobs and we identify the career path that have ease of learning, ease of transition, and of course, this is why most people in the tech ecosystem, high and rewarding salary. And that's how we're able to come up with all these 8 career paths. And number 1 is business analysis. Number 2 is agile project management, which is Scrum Master. Number 3 is data analytics, data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, financial analytics, and then HR analytics. So all these 8 career paths, we're able to come up with them as those courses that were posted highest for the last years in the US, UK, and Canada in all these job boards. And we also give you the ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and also high rewarding salary. So after we've been able to get all these 8 career paths, because we know that the world is constantly changing, right? We don't want a situation where you get into a career path today and tomorrow you're hearing something that, oh, AI has taken over your job. So we needed to validate that these jobs are going to be relevant in the next coming years. We need to validate that these 8 career paths that in the next coming years, they are going to be very, very relevant. So what did we do? We looked at the World Economic Forum report. So every year, there's what we call the World Economic Forum, where the leaders on different sectors of the economy come together to make decisions on some certain topics. Okay, and part of the things that they also talk about is a segment called the Future of Jobs report. Okay, and from that World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, what we notice is that in the next 5 years, by 2030, a lot of things are going to happen. 170 million jobs are going to be created newly. So this represents this right-hand side where we have all these boxes in green. So 170 million new jobs are going to be created. All right. And then it's also, also stated that 92 million jobs are also going to disappear. Okay. And that represents this red side that we have here. So each of those boxes that you see there represent 1 million jobs. So each of those jobs that you see represents 1 million jobs. So from there, we saw that 92 million jobs are going to disappear. Now, this blue space represents jobs that will be stable. But what I always advise people to do is to make sure that you move from this side towards this green side, so that you are at least within the space of jobs that are going to grow or be created in the next coming years. So after identifying this, you need to now be able to ask yourself, the career paths I'm trying to get into, are they going to be relevant in the next coming years? So we looked also at the fastest growing jobs, also from the World Economic Forum report, the Future of Jobs. So clearly you can see that number one fastest growing job out there is the big data specialist. Okay, the big data specialist. And when we talk about the big data specialist, it relates to your data engineers, your data analysts, your data scientists. Okay, so you can see the number. They are also, if you look down, you can also see that they are also amongst the first 10 fastest growing jobs. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6, we also have data warehousing specialists. And they also relate to your data engineers, and of course, your data scientists and data analysts and anyone that works with data in a database. Okay, so clearly you will see that it has validated that in the next coming years, data engineering, data analytics, data science, that they all are going to be constantly in vogue. Okay, and they are amongst the fastest growing job. Now, if you look at the number 3 job there, you are seeing something around AI and machine learning specialists. All right, AI and machine learning specialists. Now, this also tilts towards data analysts and data scientists. Okay, people that can also be able to build machine learning algorithms to be able to make predictions. That's where we now tilt them towards data science. And if you also look down here, you are going to see data analysts and of course data scientists. So this has also validated that data analytics and data science are going to be fast growing in the next coming years. And then also, if you look down, you're going to see your security management specialists, your Internet of Things specialists, and of course, your information security analysts. Now, this represents your cybersecurity professionals. So it also means that cybersecurity is amongst the fastest growing jobs. So if you look clearly here, where we have the top 15 fastest growing jobs, you can easily see that data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, cybersecurity, that they are all here. We now go ahead and look at the bigger reports, the full reports itself. You are going to see all those courses that I've talked about. You're going to see business analysis has now entered into this space where you have your process automation specialists. So all the jobs on this left-hand side represent jobs that are going to grow in the next coming years, while the one on this right-hand side represents jobs that are going to decline in the next coming years. So remember what I said, you want to make sure that you move from the declining side towards the increasing side. I hope we're still following me till this very moment. If you're still here, please do anything so that I'll be sure that you are here. What is the difference between a professional Scrum Master and a certified Scrum Master? Now, the certification there easily is just someone that have been able to get a certificate, maybe from PSM, or you've been able to get a certificate PMP to show that you are certified. Now, but there are a lot of Scrum Masters that are professional, have the experience, but they are not certified. I hope that answers your question, Chioma. Okay, fantastic. And see a couple of people dropping hi. Caroline is saying hi. Yeah, maybe that means you are listening to what I am saying. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for that show of faith. Thank you. Yes, we are with you and can hear you clearly. Thank you so much. Now, remember, when I mentioned that we use three basic approach to choose courses that we are doing, which is ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and then high rewarding salary. If you look at this space that I have here now, you can see something like DevOps engineers, right? You can see something around renewable energy engineers, you can see something around robotics engineering or blockchain developers. Now, these are also amongst the fastest growing jobs. Okay, they are also amongst the fastest growing jobs. But I have one question for you. How easy do you think it would be for you coming from, let's say, health background or teaching or agriculture to be a robotics engineer? How easy do you think it can be for you to be a robotics engineer? Can someone put in the comment section, do you think it's going to be easy for you to become a robotics engineer or for you to transition to be a renewable energy engineer? So you can see the reason why we don't offer some of these courses, because even though they are fast growing, they are amongst the fastest growing jobs. But for you to break into that space, you need to give yourself like something within 1 year, 2 years for you to be a robotics engineer. So while trying to transition also, you need to look at all those aspects or all those career paths that is going to give you the ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and also the high rewarding salary. And that is the reason why we only offer just these 8 courses. Okay. Nessa Osei said, sounds scary. Fantastic. Nessa, your face looks familiar. All right. Says sounds scary. And that's the truth. Robotics engineering sounds scary. And if you are trying to get into that space from being a teacher or being an agriculturist or horticulturist, you're going to now see how scary or how big the journey is for you. Okay, I hope that makes sense to everyone. Is robotics engineering like AI? That's a whole lot of things I did that for. But I think I have a couple of questions here. Do you give certificates afterwards? Yes, we give certificates. But if you listen to what I said earlier, it is always competence over certification. We actually give, because we are fully accredited by the ACTD, American Council of Training and Development, which means once you are done training with us, you're going to issue this certificate that is globally recognized. But your certificate is nothing if you don't have the competence. And that's why we have people that are already certified coming back to us for them to get that skill and the experience, because that is what recruiters are looking out for. After doing courses from technology, do one need to do more certification? IPAD? Clearly, IPAD, I'm going to ask you one question. As a data analyst, there is no accreditation body for data analysts, right? What you're going to see out there is IBM data analytics, Google data analytics, Microsoft data analytics, Amazon data analytics. It doesn't mean that those companies are accredited to give certifications for data analytics. They are simply training people to also be data analysts. All right. So what you need is simply the skill and the experience. Now, for courses like cybersecurity, that is where you may now start looking towards certification. But first, you need to get the skill and the experience before you can now be able to get into the space, and then continuously, consciously, you are now improving yourself. Where can I apply data analytics skills into renewable energy with transition to smooth? Okay, I think that's a more robust question. I'm going to take all those questions in the end. Please, can you also talk about project management, Oyindamola? Fantastic, Oyindamola. So if you go to the next page, or the fastest growing job, you can see something around here, which is project managers. So it also means that project management is amongst the fastest growing jobs out there. You can see it, project managers, right? But there's an aspect of project management that is fast growing, and that is the agile project managers, okay? People that work iteratively to improve products, okay? They're not using just the waterfall aspect of project management, but they've been able to bring agile framework to continuously improve on the project. I'm going to give you an example, Oyindamola. Let's say today, Instagram, if you go to your Instagram, your share button will be in a place that you can't even see it. If you come tomorrow, your share button will be visible If you tap or to like any post, today the heart is going to be big. Next tomorrow, if you tap again, the heart is going to be small. So continuously, they are looking for ways to improve UI, the experience of the users, right? Which means they are working using agile mindsets. They did not wait for them to say, oh, we are done building this product before we push it to the market. They've pushed it towards the aspect that users can utilize it. And then continuously, they're not improving on those experiences. So agile project management is amongst also the fastest growing jobs out there. All right. Now let's look at the fastest declining jobs. You can see the number one fastest declining job is postal service clerks. I don't know how many of us have posted something recently. And then number two, you're also seeing something around bank tellers and related clerks. You are seeing data entry clerks, cashiers, admin assistants, printing and related trade workers, accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll clerks, and so on and so forth. And you can also see something around graphics designers. Now, someone asked me a very important question the other day. How come graphic designers are amongst the fastest declining jobs out there? Okay, how come graphic designers are amongst the fastest declining jobs out there? Now, what I always tell people is that if you go to my Instagram page, you're going to see a couple of things that I put up outside there. I'm not a graphic designer, but I can simply download Canva and be able to do what I want to do and post it out there. Okay, so what it simply means is that if everyone can easily do what you are doing, it means that your role is being watered down. And that's what's happening to graphic design. There are so many AI-related tools that you can utilize today to build a poster. So what you now need to be able to improve yourself is now, as a graphic designer, what new thing are you adding to yourself to make sure that you are continuously needed out there? That is where things like motion graphics start coming in. Because if you are not a fully graphical person, motion graphics will be a little bit hard for you. Okay, that's where you moving towards the creative industry starts coming. You're not a creative and not just a graphic designer. Anyone can easily use Canva, use any of those tools to build things that they want to do. But the mindset around it, the creative that is needed to achieve it, being able to do those motion graphics, that is now what makes you different. Okay, so you can see, even as a graphic designer, there are things that you can also be able to add to yourself to move yourself from being in the fastest declining job to still being relevant out there. Could you post a link to this report at the end of presentation? Okay, Yusuf. Yeah, Yusuf. So once you fill the attendance form, once you get the slide, just click here. You can see this place I said click here to download full report. Right. So once you click on it, it's going to take you to the full report itself. Okay, so make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you have access to the slide and also the recorded version of this discussion. Okay, once you get it, you can be able to digress, look at every single thing that the World Economic Forum report has to say about the future of jobs. But remember, most important thing is for you to move from the right-hand side towards the left-hand side, which is you moving from the declining side towards the side that the careers are fast growing. I hope that makes sense to you, Yusuf, and to everyone that is listening to me. So before I move on, I also have one very important question. Okay, how many of us, as of today, have made choices of career paths that they want to transition into? Okay, if you've not made any, I'm going to explain all these career paths for you to be able to understand all of them and make that decision. Okay, but what I always try to make people understand is that we don't get the slides sent to our email even after filling the attendance form. Seba, that is not entirely true. You may want to check your junk or your spam folder, because I'm sure that my guys always send out this slide after our master class. So please, Seba, check your junk or your spam email. It will definitely be there. If it's not there, that means there's a setting in your email that is bouncing our email from getting to you, right? But check your spam and also your junk. Okay, before this call is over, just put in for me to know whether you've been able to see it. All right. So moving on, some of us, when we are data analysts, we always feel it's not there. Oh, Seba. All right, Seba, please fill this one, and I'm sure my colleagues are here. They're going to also look into it, but I'm sure they'll always send out that email. Okay. So as data analysts, you are not limited to just applying to roles that exist in the data analyst space, right? You are not limited to roles that exist in the data analyst space. You can apply to roles as a business intelligence analyst. People come to me and say, oh, I want to be a business intelligence analyst. A business intelligence analyst is also a data analyst. It's just branding. People have been able to brand and rebrand so many things. All right. A data analyst can also work as a marketing analyst, a sales analyst, logistics analyst, and so much more. So you are not just limited to the main heading of what you've been able to study. It's just, for instance, as at today, you studied, let's say you studied civil engineering as an example that I studied. You can decide to move towards transportation. You can decide to move towards building. You can decide to move towards water and all those related hydro things. All right. So it doesn't limit you to one key area. And that is what happens in tech also. As a data scientist, you can also apply to all roles in data analytics. Okay. And then, of course, you can apply to machine learning engineering roles, demand planner, and so much more. So each of those career paths, it is just a heading. Inside the heading itself, there are different derivatives that you can easily get into. All right. For instance, if you're a HR or if you've been following what's happening in the HR space, when the HR people started coming up, it was normal, oh, HR, human resource, and then you move to HR VP, human resource business partner. You move to, there's so many derivatives now. There's one I saw the other time, it was chief of staff. Yeah, chief of staff. But when you look at the role, it's also tilted towards HR. So you need to be able to understand that when you're looking for jobs as a smart person, don't look for roles that is just on what you studied. Look for roles using the skill that you have. So make sure that you always look at the job description, because it is from that job description that you can know whether you match that role that you are going for. Because there are so many derivatives inside any of those courses that you decide to go ahead. Now, one thing I also want us to take advantage of, for people in different countries, also look at the advantages with respect to the skill shortages out there. So if you're in any of these countries, Egypt to, let's say, Singapore, can see that their skill shortage is in positive, which means they have enough people to match the available jobs there. All right. You can look at the one for South Africa and China and also say that theirs is at optimal value. It's optimal. Okay. They have available people to match available jobs. But if you are in our dearest Nigeria, if you are in Canada, if you are in United Kingdom, or you are also United States of America, you can clearly see that there is already a negative balance with respect to skill shortages there, right? So while looking to also get into all these countries, also be looking out for the ones that your skills are going to be relevant. I know many of us be asking, oh, how come Nigeria is here? Now, because of the several Japa syndrome that is currently flying around in Nigeria, I have a friend that's still in Nigeria. This guy works for 3 different companies as a data analyst. One of them is paying him over $1 million. Then the rest, they are paying him over $500,000 for the other 2 companies. Now, when he puts together everything he earns from these 3 companies, is over close to 3 million naira every month. All right. Now, it may not be a lot when you try to do those conversion, but for someone living in Nigeria earning that amount, it is quite okay for you to standardize yourself. So because of Japa syndrome, there's also vacancies that are being created for people that are still in Nigeria. But then, how do you get into those roles? First, remember, you need the skill. Okay. And if you are in US, UK, and any of those countries, you need to also realize that the tech ecosystem also offers you at least something that is above your minimum requirements for you to get your COS. So if you're in UK, you know that for you to get your COS, the job needs to at least pay you £38,700 per annum. Now, if you look at the business analyst, you can see that clearly it pays way over that, around 52,000. All right. If you look at data analyst, it pays around 40,000. Data science around 55. Data engineering around 65. Cybersecurity around 57. Financial analytics around 51. HR analytics around 39, and also agile product management around 53. So clearly you can see that all the 8 career paths also met that minimum requirement for you to get your COS. So if you're looking for a visa sponsored role, just note that all these 10 career paths can 100% help you land all those jobs that will give you what you're looking for. After completing data analytics course, can one do each of the specialties like HR analytics? Okay, all right. Ecstasy, after completing data analytics course, you are not coming back to specialize again, because what you've learned is sufficient for you to land a role. Okay, it's sufficient for you to land a role. As a data analyst, you can actually work as a business intelligence analyst and also in those different career paths that you mentioned. All right. What if you are a nurse? I think I saw a question that piqued my attention there. Quickly, let me look at that. What if you're a nurse? What role is best placed? Abigail, I think I've actually been able to answer this before now. Okay, but I also still touch base with it. All right. Make sure that you fill the attendance form and go through the recorded version of the discussion. Answer me, when is the next class for the time? Okay, next class starts in April. All right. But for you to get into the tech space, there are things that you need to be able to do. That's what we call the 6-step strategy that you can use to land a job. All right. There's 6-step strategy. Number 1 is you need to first of all identify your desired tech career path. So how many of us have identified the career path that we want to go into? Okay, just put it in the comment section. Have we identified the career path that we want to get into? Now, this is also a challenge for smart people. Some smart people also struggle because of their inability to choose a career path. Okay, today, I want to be a data analyst. Tomorrow, I want to be a cybersecurity. Next time, I want to be a data engineer. Next time, it's going to be, I want to be a different thing. Now, when you've not been able to identify that desired tech career path, you are going to struggle, because one is that you are going to have what we call divided mindset. And because we always have this notion that you want to get everything once. As a smart person, we always have these cravings for knowledge, but we can't get everything once. I said I've worked as a data analyst, business analyst, and also GRC, which is cybersecurity related. Now, all these things, I didn't get it in a space of 1 year to 5 years. It's something that was built over close to a decade of experience. All right. So when you are smart and you're also looking to break into industry, what I always advise people is identify your own desired tech career path. Okay. Identify and learn from there. The next thing that you need to do after you've been able to identify is now for you to learn the skill. So number 1 thing that you need to do is identify. Number 2 is for you to also learn this skill. So what we do here at Analytics, we have 2 basic approach that we use to teach. Okay, 2 basic approach that we use to teach. What Susan said, it has been a challenge. I just came to the UK and really struggling. All right, Susan, I don't really get that, but what you need might be a skill. I will explain all the career paths so that everyone be able to identify the one that relates to them. Okay, so once you have identified the career path, number 2 thing is for you to learn the skill. And we have 2 basic approach that we use to teach here. One is self-paced learning, okay, where we give you what we call watch me do it videos. So for instance, I'm going to work on a project and then you're going to have that same project for you to replicate what I've done. Then we also have what we call live instructor-led classes. Okay, so for live instructor-led class, you're going to have someone like myself live in the classroom teaching you what you need to learn. The same way we are conversing now, that is how someone is going to be in the class and be conversing with you. All right, so after you've been able to learn the skill, what next do you need to learn? But quickly, let me ask us this question. All right, let me also gauge our own understanding of this space. All right, you have a car and your car spoiled. Are you going to give your car to someone that is going to tell you, oh, I'm a first-class graduate from Harvard University, bring your car, let me repair it for you? Are you going to give it to this guy, or are you going to give it to that guy? That guy that is a roadside mechanic that will come to you and say, oh, I'm just a roadside mechanic. This is my workshop. I've been able to repair Aston Martin, I've repaired Benz, I've repaired Volkswagen. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. Whom are you going to give your car to? This or that? the first class graduate or the experienced roadside guy? Abigail said the roadside. Fantastic. Abigail is going with roadside guy. Let me also see what others have to say. Are you going to give it to this guy or to that guy? It's only Abigail that is following this conversation this evening. Yetunde also mentioned roadside. Joy, roadside. I'm sorry if I murdered the name, also said that. Fantastic. Now, why exactly are we still pursuing? Caroline said Harvard. Fantastic. Caroline said Harvard. All right, Caroline, I wish I can just stay to the end of the course so that we'll also be able to gauge what you have to say. All right. Now, it is all our responses are actually correct. Okay. Caroline said she's going to give her car to the first class graduate. Now, how many of us, after graduating with first class from universities as a mechanical engineer, can actually lose a car? How many of us can actually lose a car? This is the question that we have to ask ourselves. So if you go through the comment section, a lot of people are saying the roadside guy, because we believe that these people have the experience. Now, that is also how you are going to be taught in the classroom. You are going to work on real life projects. Okay, so after you've been able to learn, next level for you is to gain project-based experience. For you to move away from just being the guy with a degree to being the guy with the experience as well. So quickly, let me click on this portfolio to show us some projects that we are going to work on as evidence of the skills that we've been able to get. All right. So this is a couple of projects that you are going to work on after you, or when you are, while you are training with us, rather. You are going to be exposed to working on several projects. Right. If you can see my screen, you can see that this person worked on Deep Care Hospital ER visit analysis. She also worked on Redox Airline flight analysis. She worked on Express Tech food delivery. She worked on Nestle product analysis. She worked on Zenith Electronics, right? And this is in different sectors of the economy. The ER Deep Care is in the health space. The Redox Airline is in aviation space. The Express Tech is in FMCG. The Nestle, okay, the Express Tech is in supply chain. The Nestle is in FMCG, while the Zenith Electronics is in the tech ecosystem. Now, this means that this individual has experience in 5 different sectors of the economy. Now, let's click on one so that we can also see what she worked on. Now, when you click on any of them, you're going to see her profile and see the actual projects that she worked on. So right now, I've seen what she was able to do using Tableau Public. Okay, and right there, she can also be able to tell people publicly when she goes for any interview, oh, while I was consulting with Analytics, I worked on this hospital ER visit analysis where I had to analyze the hospital ER data. And from what I was able to see, I noticed that we had close to 10,000 patients that visited our hospital with a waiting time, average waiting time of so and so. And what I needed to do was to find a solution to their waiting time. Okay, I was able to do this, I was able to do that, and because of it, I improved the average waiting time from what it was to 15 minutes, from being over 30 minutes to just being 17 minutes. And because of it, I was able to improve the turnover of the visitations and in return, improve the revenue. So when you speak like this to your recruiters, they're going to know that this person has an experience of what she's talking about. Can see the dashboard that she was able to build that's also interactive. You can decide to remove everything and be looking at it quarter by quarter. If she decides to give her own experience by quarter, you can see that, oh, in Q1, this was what happened. We had 1,450 people with average waiting time of 36 minutes, 27 seconds. I was able to do this, I was able to do that. And because of that, if you look at our Q2 report, we had an average waiting time that reduced to 35 minutes. And because of that reduction, it improved our number of ER patients, which in return improved our revenue. So when you speak like this and you're showing visible experience, visible project that you've been able to work on, clearly recruiters are going to know, oh, this person actually knows what he or she is talking about. So clearly, let me also ask us this question. If you're looking to be a data analyst and this person submits his or her own CV, and you with a master's degree from University of Hull, submit your own CV also. Who do you think is going to get the job? The person with experience from health sector, aviation sector, supply chain sector, FMCG, and also technology space, or you that just has a degree, master's degree from University of Hull. Whom do you think they're going to hire? Let me also know how we are saying the truth on this score, because I've asked us the mechanic one first. Now it's about you. You have a master's degree from University of Hull, and this person came with this portfolio to show experience of what they've been able to do in the past. Whom do you think they are going to hire? You or this person? Okay, 347, okay, said the person with the experience, fantastic. The person with experience from Vivian, fantastic as well. Portfolio experience, Anthony, fantastic. Now, clearly, it means that this is how you can easily be able to build up those experience that recruiters are looking for without landing a job. Okay, most jobs that you go out for today, you're going to see, I want someone with a year experience, 2 years of experience. For you to build those experience, that is where project-based learning comes in very, very handy. Okay, so that is number 3 thing that you need to know. Number 1, choose a career path. Number 2, learn the skill. Number 3, build and gain the project-based experience. Then number 4, we talk about you building your employability skill. I'm going to speak extensively on this one. Then 5 and 6 is around networking and mentorship. We've had instances where a student joined our program and landed a job. Now, on the job, he realized that the company also needs another data analyst. And he was also able to refer someone that they were in the same training program with. Okay, now this is where networking and being in a community comes very, very handy. Right? And then once you're able to complete this 6 step, that brings you to this place where you can confidently now say you have gotten the job. Okay, so I'm going to move a little bit faster. Now, this same strategy has helped a couple of people to also land these roles, even this year, 2025 already. You can see someone that messaged Priscilla to say, oh, hello, Priscilla, Happy New Year. I'm overwhelmed, but with good news. I have 3 job interviews. Most importantly, I have an interview with Sask Energy for HR data analyst role. One of the jobs you posted, I need help preparing for this interview as I really want this particular one. Now, a couple of months later, she came back to say, I got the job. And this is what we consider as success here at Analytics, moving you from our classroom into landing your own jobs. You can see other people that came back for reference letters and also recommendation letter. Because if you're in UK, US, and Canada, you agree with me that recommendation letter and reference letter is very, very important. All right, so how can you actually make this happen? Or do you think it is not possible? Some people always feel that all these things are impossible, but believe me, it always seems impossible until it is done. And that's why we always have these success stories here. When you get the slide, click to hear what they had to say. Feel free to reach out to them on LinkedIn, connect with them and ask them questions. How was your own experience with analytics? Let them be the one that will explain to you what they had to go through. Okay, we have people like Adetayo. Adetayo got a role in cybersecurity within 60 to 70% completion rate. Okay, which means she was not even done yet, and he was able to land a job. So this is how you also can be able to get into this. When you get the slide, feel free to watch and hear what they had to say. Abigail moved from being a care worker. I know someone mentioned around support work, moved from being a care worker to landing a job in Canada as a business analyst. So this is to tell you that it is also possible. Now, what are the skills that you need for you to be able to break into any of these career paths? What skills do you need to land those jobs? I'm going to start with business analysis. So this is where you need to have your pen and paper very, very handy, because I'm going to explain all the career paths so that I can be able to choose the one that relates to you. All right. Now, business analysts are simply people that come into the business to improve and optimize the existing processes. All right, so business analysts on day-to-day basis are looking for ways to make all the processes better than it was before they met them. And they are also responsible for making sure, are we getting this recording? For making sure that information flows seamlessly from the non-technical stakeholders to the technical stakeholders. So this is your business analyst also in between here, making sure that information flows from here to this side and also from this side to this side. So if you are someone that you are okay with communication, you are okay with improving processes, you've worked as an auditor, customer experience, teachers, people that are lawyers as well, people that are very, very easy with communication, then you should be looking at business analysis. And the number one thing that you are going to be learning is Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, the reason why you learn this, because this is also data analytics tools. The reason why you're going to learn this is because we realize that recruiters are now looking for business analysts that can be able to interpret and also be able to work with data, right? They understand and can be able to interpret data. That is why you need to be able to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, it may not be as in-depth as a data analyst is going to be able to use them, right? But it gives you that understanding to be able to work with all those tools. The next one is process mapping. You're going to learn Lucidchart and Draw.io for process mapping. Now, remember I mentioned your responsibility is to improve processes. So let's assume you've been able to map out all the processes. How do you map out the customer journey? Is by, first of all, learning how to use all these tools, Lucidchart or Draw.io, to identify the customer touch points on anything that they need to do. So once you've been able to map out the customer journey, you can now look at how do you improve that process, which is where working or project initiation comes in. Because for you to now be able to improve that exact customer point that you're able to identify, you need to now plan the project. And the best framework you can utilize to improve projects is the Agile and Scrum framework. So you're also learning all these things. And they are all borrowed courses from project management. And then this last part around software development lifecycle, requirements, fundamentals, elicitation methods, stakeholder analysis, they are now your core business analysis. All right. So as a business analyst, what this means is that you can break into career paths that exist in data analytics. You can break into career paths that exist in project management. And you can also work visibly as a business analyst because of the learnings that you've been able to get. Okay, I hope that makes sense to everyone whom a business analyst is. Now, for everything that you are going to be learning, our classes holds only on Saturdays. We have the morning class and we have the evening class. You can only be in one of the classes, right? We have the morning class and we have the evening class. The morning class is by 11 a.m. West African time to 2 p.m. West African time. Now, this is suitable for people in Europe, UK, and also Africa, right? Now, the evening class is by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. This should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time for people in Canada or US, okay? So it's around 10 a.m. Mountain time. You can only be in one of those classes. So this weekend, you're going to be having a live class. Then after the live class, next weekend, you're going to be having what we call self-paced watch me do it video, where you're going to be provided with videos for you to now be able to replicate what your facilitator has been able to also do. All right? I hope you understood that perfectly. Now, the learning timeline is for 8 months. So for 6 months, you're going to be in the classroom learning all these things that I've been able to mention, all these key learning areas. Then for 2 months, you're now going to intern with our partner, Amdari, to also work on other real-life case studies to build up your experience. This is how you build your experience to land roles that requires experience. I hope this makes sense for everyone. Now, for Agile project management, these are people that maybe you've served as a project manager before now, or you've worked as you've had enough experience in different sectors. Okay, you have wealth of experience to serve as a leader or as a coach within a project team. Your responsibility is simple: to make sure that everyone is working using Agile method. Now, if you're looking to get into a career path with nothing technical, you should be looking at Agile Project Management, because we refer to Agile Project Management as the no-code area in tech. So you're not doing anything like Excel, Power BI, you're not doing anything that has to do with coding or technicalities, all right? All right? You're not doing anything technical. All you have to do is read and understand the Agile methods and be able to get the understanding and make sure your team is working using all those approach. Okay, so first thing you're going to be learning is your introduction to project management, the methods and the structures involved. Then you move on to understand the skills and communications, and of course, the foundations of Agile and Scrum itself. Now, inside Scrum, you're going to learn all those different artifacts that's attached to Scrum, increments, your sprints, your product backlog, and so on and so forth. Okay, you are going to learn Confluence, Jira, and Trello for your project collaboration and tracking. Okay, then number 9, you're also going to have the velocity burn-up and burn-down charts also taught in your classroom. How do you know when your team is performing below par or when they are performing above what they are expected to do? Then you also be taught the leadership application and Nexus Scrum, where you learn how to manage multiple projects iteratively. So everything you learn in the Agile Project Management class will also prepare you for your professional Scrum Master examination. I hope that makes sense to everyone. And the learning timeline is also the same thing. Morning class, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. or the evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, learning timeline is for 6 months. It's for 8 months, rather. 6 months in the class and then 2 months internship experience. Now, ecstasy, I can see where you dropped. I'm sure you maybe misunderstood what he was trying to communicate. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Even though the 2 classes start the same time, let's assume all the classes start today. And in the morning, you were in the morning class, for an example, and then the morning class, everybody there, they are all slow learners. And then in the evening class, everybody there, they were all fast learners. Now, next time, because the evening class are very, very fast, they're going to move faster than you. So let's assume you're in the morning class and you decide, oh, I want to now move to the evening class. If you move to the evening class and the evening class are very fast, you're going to realize that they've moved ahead beyond where you've been before. All right. So what we advise people is that if you start the program, you can only be in one. You have the option to say, oh, today I want to be in morning, tomorrow I want to be in the evening. But for you to easily flow with the end and have a better experience, we always advise people to be in one. So once you are with one, you can easily flow with the learning. So even if you decide to move to the evening class, you're not coming to a class that has been faster than where you were. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, Access. You have the option to say, oh, this weekend I want to be in the morning, next weekend I want to be in the evening. But if one is faster than the other, then you run the risk of coming to a class that is now faster than where you were before. But if you are with your own exact class, which is just the morning class, you can easily be able to stick with the learning experience fully for yourself. I hope that makes sense, Ecstasy. Now, let's move ahead to data engineering. I saw many people mention, oh, I want to move to data engineering. Now, who exactly is a data engineer? Now, data engineers are actually people that come into the business to make sure that data flows seamlessly to everyone that needs it. So I'm going to explain it using the plumbers. So if you build a house today, your plumber comes to run your piping. You're going to notice that if you open your shower, water is going to flow. If you open your tap, water is going to flow. If you flush the system, WC, water is going to flow. Anything that you do that requires water is going to flow. And that's because the plumber has been able to build a pipeline to connect all those outlets to a water source. So that is how a data engineer builds the architecture, the pipeline, to connect data outsources to the data warehouse. So they make sure that data flows seamlessly within the ecosystem fully. And first thing that you are going to be learning is Introduction to Data Engineering, which talks about data lifecycle management and data architecture. Now, data engineering is very, very heavy on coding. It is very, very heavy on coding. So first thing that you are going to be learning is SQL, Structured Query Language. And this also allows you to work as a DBA when you are done with your own training, which is database administrator. Okay, you're also going to learn Python programming, learn Linux operating system, and of course, ETL. How do you extract data? How do you transform it in your IDE? And then how do you load it to a database? Okay, you're going to learn Apache Spark and Apache Airflow with respect to how do you automate all the entire process, and also cloud engineering, and also GitHub and ChatGPT Copilot. So if you're someone that coding interests you, you want to be in the aspect of tech where you're in the back end writing lines of code and not doing things that are actually visually amazing, then you should be looking at data engineering. Okay, the learning timeline is also the same thing. It's also the same thing with every other one that I've been able to mention now. Now, next one is data analyst. Do you have classes for teenagers? Joy. Okay, so Joy, our classes allows for people within any age brackets because we teach using real life project based. So we've had instances where we had someone that he was 17 years, and we've had instances where we had someone that he was, I think, 57 years. So we had both the young and the old in all our programs, okay? Now for data analysts, simply these are people that come into the business to solve a problem, okay? They come into the business to solve a problem, and they answer two basic questions, and that is, what happened and why did it happen? All right, so the data analyst answers two basic questions, which is the descriptive analytics and the diagnostic analytics. And that simply means what happened and why did it happen? And for them to be able to answer this question, they need to learn these key learning areas. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's assume hypothetically that last year, analytics, we posted a revenue of $1 million. All right, revenue of $1 million. And then this is what data analysts have told us. He also went ahead to say we made 500,000 from the US market, 200,000 from UK markets, 200,000 from Canadian markets, and then 100,000 from the rest of the world. Now, this information is just him telling us this is what happened. He's not going to be able for us to make a decision from this data. So the expectation is that he's going to look at other data that the company also processes. Maybe let's look at the marketing budget. So he had aspects to get to the marketing BDJ. Yeah, marketing budget. And for the marketing budget report, he noticed that we use 50% of our budget just in US, right? And use 20% in UK, and then 20% in Canada, and then 10% in rest of the world. Now, clearly, by looking at this revenue and marketing budget, can easily see a correlation between revenue and the marketing budget. So if you are now saying, oh, I want to improve the revenue for the rest of the world, that means you're also going to advise for the marketing budget for the rest of the world to also be improved. So these are things that the data analyst is fully going to be doing. It's going to look at data, tell you what happened, and tell you the reason why that happened, and be able to give you a recommendation. And anyone can actually enter or start their career path from data analysis. All right, like I mentioned earlier, most people in NOS, what you've been doing before now is also what happened and why it happened, but it's simply from the health sector. But when it comes to data, you're also doing the same thing. What happened and why did it happen? But now from the data aspect, okay? Now, the first thing that you're going to be learning is problem solving. How do you solve problems? Yeah, remember, you're coming into this business to solve an underlying issue using data. So you're going to be taught the different techniques that you are going to utilize for you to be able to solve a problem. And then you move ahead to learn Excel from the basic level to the advanced level, starting from your cells, your rows, your column, moving on to your functions and formulas, and of course, your pivot table, and then your pivot charts. Then you're also going to learn SQL. How do you communicate with databases? Okay, and of course, Power BI and Tableau. Power BI and Tableau are visualization tools that allow you to analyze big data sets and be able to bring out visual appealing insights from them. You're also going to be taught data storytelling. How do you tell a compelling story? So I can see a lot of people asking different questions in the comment section, right? Now, if I jump into this call right now and I start telling you, oh, data analysis is this and so on and so forth, the price is this and that, I'm going to lose a lot of people. But you need to learn how to tell your own story as a data analyst. So it is step by step, right? For you to be able to communicate effectively to your stakeholders, you need to learn how do you tell a compelling story. So even though your data may be correct, but if you don't know how to tell that story, you're going to lose your stakeholders. So you're also going to be taught how to tell a story. And then of course, you learn ChatGPT for analytics and also Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. Now, the learning timeline is the same for every program, the same 11 to 2, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., and also 8 months. 6 months in the class and 2 months classroom learning. Now, who exactly are the data scientists? Now, I refer to data scientists as the senior brothers of data analysts. All right, so their own responsibility is to answer 3 basic questions. Okay, my screen biro is not writing anymore. Just a second. All right, it's back. Now, they are meant to answer 3 basic questions. This is a data scientist. All right, they'll answer descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, and then predictive analytics. And that simply put, it means they are answering what happened, why did it happen, and then they will tell you the future, which is what is going to happen in the future. Okay, and by virtue of this, it simply means that a data analyst, a data scientist rather, can work as a data analyst. And that's because, remember, they are also answering this question: what happened and why did it happen? And that's the same thing that a data analyst will answer. And then they go ahead to tell the future of what is going to happen by building predictive models. Now, this is where the difference lies. A data scientist is going to learn statistics, learn forecasting and predictive using Excel, learn Tableau and SQL also. Now, these 4 tools are going to prepare them for data analyst role. Now, from next one, they're now moving to Python programming. How do you now code? So which means that data scientists are moving towards the coding aspect of data. So you're going to learn Python programming, learn exploratory data analysis, also learn machine learning. So when you hear AI and machine learning, it's tilted towards data science, right? And also computer vision. So if you are running from coding, then you may want to be in data analytics. But if you want to challenge yourself more and get into the coding aspect of data, then you should be looking at data science, all right? A data scientist can work as a data analyst, but a data analyst cannot work as a data scientist. I hope that's clear for everyone. Okay, now moving on, we also have the financial analyst. Now, financial analyst is easier for people that have been in the financial space, and it's simple. It is for people that come into the business to give you financial understanding of your financial data. They are going to learn the same thing a data analyst will learn. Okay, so you can see that they are learning problem solving, learning Excel, learning Power BI, and learning SQL. And this is data analytics. And then they will move into financial accounting fundamentals, rather, understanding your 3 statement of accounting model, your cash flow, your income statement, and then your balance sheets. Yeah, they will understand it and then understand how to analyze financial data. And then how do you build financial model? They move on to valuation and sensitivity and scenario analysis. So financial analysts are simply data analysts that specializes in financial data. You've learned all these tools and you're now learning how do you use what you've learned under there to apply it in the financial space. So if you've been an accountant, if you've been in those spaces and they're trying to break into the tech ecosystem, tilting towards financial analytics might be way easier for you. The learning classroom time is the same thing, and the learning timeline is the same thing for everyone. Then for HR analytics are also data analysts that have streamlined themselves to HR data. So they're also going to learn those things that a data analyst will learn. And then they will now specialize in HR activities around HR analytics and performance evaluation. How do you use Excel to build your appraisal sheet, HR metrics and lifecycle management? How do you know when to perform stay interviews instead of exit interviews? And then also understanding your collaboration and report automation, as well as how do you build your case to be able to present it to management. So they are data analysts that have learned data tools, and they are now also trying to apply it to the HR space. Okay, so clearly HR analysts can work as data analysts and they can work as HR analysts. Financial analysts, they can also work as financial analysts and they can also work as data analysts as well. Now, finally, we have the cybersecurity professionals. Now, these are people that are responsibility is to come to the business to secure your digital assets. Okay, the same way you're trying to protect your physical assets by having a security guard, that same way someone needs to lay guard on your digital space to protect your digital data, right? And first thing that these people all are going to learn is understand the roles and technologies. Now, why this is important is because cybersecurity is very, very fast. We have the red team and we have the blue team, which is the attack-minded team and the defense-minded team. But the approach that we use here is what we call the medicine approach. So what do I mean by the medicine approach? You are going to have a general understanding of what cybersecurity is all about, and then decide where you want to transition and specialize in. So the same way that for medical guys, they have like 3 years general medicine and then now specialize in maybe pediatrics or neurosurgeon as the case may be. That is how you are going to get the full training, and then you decide where you want to now specialize in. So that is why first thing that you're going to be doing is understanding your information security principles and risk management, where you're now going to understand your CIA triad: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Everything that you're going to be doing in cybersecurity is hinged on all these things. Then you move on to your network security and, of course, threat and vulnerabilities. Under network security, and I'm learning how do you utilize Wireshark and Cisco Packet Tracer for you to run your network topologies. Then under threat and vulnerabilities, you also learn how to use Nmap and Nexus to scan for vulnerabilities on systems. So for each of these key learning areas, there are different tools that you are learning. Now, cybersecurity is a little bit technical. You don't need to be highly coding. In fact, you're not coding in this program, all right? But you need to be technically inclined for you to get into it, right? So if you are someone that you love challenges, you love technical things, then you should be looking at cybersecurity, all right? You should be looking at cybersecurity. Next thing also, you learn your SOC roles and responsibilities, where you're learning how do you utilize Splunk to analyze your threats, okay? How do you analyze your logs? And also, how do you do what we call network traffic monitoring? How do you monitor the traffic in your networks? Then you move on to learn your threat intelligence, and also how do you respond to threats and also be able to detect them, okay? You have a lot of things that you are learning in cybersecurity using different tools, okay? You are learning how to utilize Wireshark for your network analysis, your VMware as your virtual box, Metasploit for your exploitation, Bob Suite for your also exploitation. Kali Linux is also very, very crucial, which you are going to be using to host other environments that you are going to be working on. So if you look at number 9, you're not getting into pen testing. How do you penetrate to see if your systems are vulnerable, okay? And then how do you scan for vulnerabilities and also the different exploitation techniques that you're going to learn. Then 12, 13, 14 is now what we call your GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, learning the compliance frameworks, how to perform audits and policy developments, and of course, your security awareness training and reporting. So everything that you learn will prepare you to work as a pen tester, to work either in the red team or in the blue team. But it's important for you to get all those key learning areas so they can now decide where you want to easily be able to transition through. Now, the learning timeline is also the same thing. The morning class, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. The evening class, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. Okay, you can only be in one of the classes. All right, and the learning timeline is for 8 months. We're going to learn in the classroom for 6 months, and then intern with us for 2 months. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, this internship I was talking about, what it simply means is that you have that unique opportunity to have both the analytics in your CV and also Amdari, because you are learning with us and you are interning with Amdari. So Amdari plays fully in the consulting space. They get real life projects where you can continuously work on clients' data, right? It is codified so they don't know the actual company is coming from, so that we protect ourselves from GDPR and NDPR laws, all right? But you have that unique opportunity to have in your CV that you've worked with analytics and you've also been able to intern with Amdari. So the classes is just for Saturdays alone, Zayomi. Yeah, it is just for Saturdays alone. Now, technical skill alone is not sufficient for you to land a role, all right? And everything I've been explaining since is just around technical skill. So for you to land a job offer, you need both the technical skill and the employability skill. And this is what is going to help you to land that job you're looking for. So employability skill ranges around your CV review sessions. So 2 months after you've joined the program, you are going to be taught how do you optimize your CV and make it to scale that initial applicant tracking system. All right? How do you scale that initial applicant tracking system? So we're going to teach you and then give you a template that you're now going to be tailoring down to the specific of jobs for you to be able to scale that initial ATS. Then LinkedIn optimization. How can you be visible out there? We also walk you through how you can be able to build a profile so they can be visible. We're trying to hire a French-speaking data analyst in Ivory Coast one time. And what I simply did, I went to LinkedIn and typed data analyst in Ivory Coast. And they brought out all the data analysts that we have in Ivory Coast, that the profile is amazing. And we simply had to headhunt and set up for an interview and got the person that we needed. But if your profile is not optimized, if you're not continuously speaking about where the space you are in, then people are not going to hear about you. And we also have sessions where we walk them through how to navigate the job market, and interview prep sessions, very important. You've landed an interview, you can also book an interview prep with us, and someone from our team is going to prep you for those interviews. Then references and recommendation letter. If you're in US, UK, or Canada, you believe that, you agree with me rather, that recommendation letter is very, very important. Okay, it's very, very important, and we are available to provide all those letters to show that you have been able to work with us. And then on the job support, where you've landed a role, we are still struggling, we're also available to support you on that road till you find your fitting, and also weekly mentorship sessions and Upwork session, where you can easily learn how to freelance and be able to make small money on Upwork. Now, this is not just it. What we also do is you have weekly access to job posts. So what we do here at Analytics is that, because we have access to some paid version of sites, we have access to some paid version of job application sites. So what we do is we scrape all those job sites and we make those jobs available for people, right? For instance, you can easily see this is UK visa jobs. If you go to this platform, it is fully paid for. So what we do is we scrape all these jobs that are here and make it available for our students to be able to apply to them. So we'll scrape it, we'll send it to their group chat, we'll make it available to them to apply to those jobs. So, but remember, it is your responsibility to apply to the jobs. So when you join, you have access to your learning management system, which is like what I'm currently showing right now. So this is our learning management system where everything that you will be doing is hosted on learning management system and also your Google Classroom. So when you go to the dashboard, we're going to see various things that you can easily play around. All right, on the dashboard, you can now see where you can easily request for a reference letter and where you can also request for interview prep. And then most importantly, we have our own in-house built AI, which we call Oluko AI, okay? Oluko AI. And you can easily be able to utilize Oluko for anything. For instance, let me quickly converse with Oluko here. Let me quickly converse with Oluko. Do you need, okay, let me easily converse with Oluko. So I've gone to that UK job board, and then I've clicked on this assurance financial analyst and fraud forensic analyst. This is it. And then it's bringing out all these things for me. Okay, so what I can easily do to prepare for this interview if it's urgent is also to copy this role, about the role, copy it, and then come right here to your own AI that is also in-house and communicate with it. So you can see, let me start a new conversation with him. Okay, my name is Chukwuemeka. Let me put my name, Chukwuemeka, and I want to start a submit. Hello, Chukwuemeka. My name is Oluko, which stands for teacher. I'm your personal AI trainer designed by Analytics. Which of the categories below best suits your current concerns? Career-related question, course content explanation, code-based issue, interview preps. So let me click on interview preparation. It's also say, wow, you are awesome. Congratulations on securing this interview. I'm happy to be your interview prep buddy. I will provide you with a detailed guide and possible questions to be asked. Please copy and paste everything about the job in the chat below. So I've copied it and I'm pasting it right here. So immediately I pasted it, it's going to analyze this and also tell me what to prepare for. So you can see easily, we are going to prepare you technical wise. We are going to provide you with employability skill. We are going to scrape job boards and provide you with them. And then you also have access to our AI for you to be able to ask code-based questions, career-based questions, interview-based questions as well. You can see what the AI said. To prepare for an interview of the senior fraud analyst role, it's important to focus on the below technical skills and soft skills. Understand the role, technical skill, brush up your knowledge on this, and then practice your tools such as SQL, Python, Power BI, and be prepared, and so on and so forth. So easily, you can see that it's conversing with me. It's asking me, do you need help using the STAR interview technique in answering some of the interview questions? Let me say yes. So once I say yes, please type the industry you want me to tell you the answers to. You can also type, let's say, financial space. So once you type financial, it's also going to tell you your responses to that space for you as well. So all this is also available for you. All right. All these things are all available for you once you join the program. So easily, we'll start with technical training, then move you on to having access to the LMS and then employability training, and of course, your AI and also interview prep questions. I think there are a couple of things people are dropping in chat. I second what those. Are the interview prep and reference letter chargeable? Okay, Choma, no. So every service that we provide to you is already boxed into the main pricing that we are going to be paying. Okay, all of them is already boxed into it. All right, so moving on, I've been able to walk us through everything that we need to know. Now, other things that you're seeing on this slide are all success stories of people before you. All right, you can see where people are saying how we were also able to help them. Lois came into the program. She did business analysis. But remember when I was talking about business analysis, I said that a business analyst can apply to data analytics role, project management role, and also business analysis role. Lois utilized that and she was able to land a project management role in United Kingdom. Same thing for Ngozi. She did customer service and HR. That was where she was before. She took a business analysis course and she landed a role as a business analyst. The same thing with several other people that have been able to make the same switch before you. So what I advise you is when you get this slide, feel free to go through it and understand everything that we're talking about. We have someone like Abdurrashid. Abdurrashid currently still resides in Nigeria, but he's working for Child 420 in the US as a data scientist. So it is also possible for you to be in these spaces, but it may not be easy, which means if people that are already outside there are applying to 10 jobs, you need to apply to 100 jobs more than them because you're already disadvantaged by virtue of location, but it is 100% possible. This is a session where our past students now came into the classroom to talk to people. Instead of us speaking, the students are the one now speaking to people to understand how we're able to also help them. So feel free to click on those links to hear directly from their own mouth. Reach out to them on LinkedIn, connect with them, and ask them questions on how their own experience was when they trained with us. So moving on, we also got into our Better Capitalizer program where we are constantly learning how do we continuously help more Blacks? How do we help more people to break into the tech ecosystem? So this is what we do to help everyone. I know someone asked about certificates. Like I said, we are going to provide you with a certificate from the ACTD, that's American Council of Training and Development, fully certified. All right. So you are going to be fully certified that you've been trained in all these courses. Okay. And what are now the next step? Next step for you is for you to join our next cohort that is starting on April 5th. Okay. Next cohort is starting on April 5th. Now you have the opportunity to utilize the 50% scholarship that we have for 300 men and for 50 men. And I can tell you for a fact that half of all these spots are already fully taken. More than half of them are already fully taken. So how do you secure your spot? Our program is fully $900, but because of the discount, we get to pay $450. So because of 50% discount, we had amazing VCs that came together to say, oh, we want to sponsor just 300 women and 50 men in your classes for any of these programs. And that's why our price has to go low to $450. And you have the option to also pay instrumentally, which means $150 this month, $150 next month, and $150 the upper month. All you have to do is simply click on the link that my colleagues are dropping. Once you click on that link, it's going to bring you to what we call Analytics Enrollment Center. All right, it's going to bring you to our Analytics Enrollment Center. And once you click on that link, scroll down, you're going to see where you have secure your IWD discounted slots. Now, this slot is limited. And the one I'm speaking to you right now, that's how our founder, our co-founder, our COOs are speaking to different segments of people, which means the spots are always easily filled up. Now, once you click on secure IWD discount, it's going to bring you to the page where you decide how you want to structure your own payments. Right? Once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this page where I'm going to decide how do you want to structure your own payment. Do you want to pay or do you want to pay 2 installments? Okay, so this is where you decide how you want to make all those things happen. If you scroll down, you're going to see that you can easily secure, you can easily click that you want to pay one time, you can click that you want to pay in 2 monthly payments, you can click that you want to make 3 monthly payments. And right now, there are actually only 44 seats available. Right? We have over 100 people on this call. We have like 3 different sessions currently going with over 100 people in all of them. And all these spots are easily filled. And once it's filled, the price goes back to the full amount. So I always advise people to try and secure their spots before it is filled. Okay, and how you can do that is simply click on, let me explain using the 3 monthly payments. Once you click on it, you can now click on secure your seat. So it's showing you that I can pay $150 today, $150 by April 22nd, and then another $150 by May 22nd. Once you click on proceed, all you have to do at this moment is just put your name, your email address, phone number, and pay for the product. Now, the website is geotagged. So what do I mean by geotagged? If you're in US, you're going to see the price in USD. If you're in Canada, you're going to see the pricing in CAD. If you're in UK, you're going to see the pricing in pounds. If you're in Germany, you're going to see it in euros. And of course, if you're in Nigeria, you're going to see it in NGN. So no matter where you are joining from, you're going to see the pricing in your own local currency. So this is what we do to make sure that everyone have that ease of payments, no matter the country that you are joining us from. Now, once you are done making payments, you're going to be redirected to a site where you're going to upload your receipts and also be able to choose and fill in a couple of data. Now, you're going to be asked if you want to start your program by April 5th or if you want to start by May 10th. So you have the option to defer by 1 month. So it means that you're securing your spot now, but instead of starting by April, you are starting by May. So if you trade futures or if you trade derivatives or options in the stock market, you're going to understand the importance of futures trading. You are buying a product at right now, but for a future usage. So that is what we're also trying to implement here. But remember, there are only 44 seats remaining, okay? And if you are still confused about the program you want to go for, what I always advise people to do is secure your spot, register. When you are asked which program are you going to take, all right, you can choose that you want to speak with an expert, and then we're going to bring you to a one-on-one conversation for us to look at your background and be able to choose a career path for you. Okay, but first, make and secure your spot so that by the time you are coming back for that one-on-one, you're not hearing that the spot is fully filled up. So this is the easiest way for you to be able to get ahead of every other person, even without knowing the program that you want to go for. Simply secure your spot. If you're asked the program, choose that you want to speak with an expert, and you're going to be brought into a session with our experts to help you choose where you want to be in. Remember, only 44 seats are just remaining. And I can assure you that 44 seats have possibility of being exhausted before this weekend is over. So make sure you take action to accelerate your own possibility in this month of International Women's Day. Kiro is saying, I haven't received the mail, please. Kiro, I may not really understand what you mean by not really received the email. Are you talking about, okay, the slide? All right, so once we are done, that is when we send the slide to everyone, okay? If we are done with the session, the recorded version will have to be downloaded from the cloud, and then it will be sent to everyone. Okay, so first you fill the attendance form. Most importantly, make sure that you secure your spots. Okay, make sure that you secure your spots. I don't know if at this moment there's anyone that have any question. Please feel free to use the raise hand icon or drop a question, and I'm going to pick it up from there. Is Scrum Master good for an introvert? Miss K, the answer to that is no. All right, because as a Scrum Master, you are the leader, you are the coach of a Scrum team. So in actual sense, it's not actually okay for an introvert, because you need to constantly be speaking to people, you need to be anchoring meetings, you need to lead people. Unless you have those attributes and you're just introverted from the aspect of, I don't know really, but if you're introverted, you may need to come out of your shell for you to be able to get into this program, or to be an amazing Scrum Master rather. Toes, you said you lot never send the slide. Toes, we don't have any reason to hide our slides. We are visibly showing it to everyone, and we send it to everyone that fills their attendance form. So two things are involved. Always make sure that your email address is correct when you are filling it, because that is what we use to send it out. And then also check your spam or junk folder. There's possibility that it is there. And then number 3, there's also possibility that you've added a setting to bounce out some emails from people like us. So when you have all those settings, you are not going to see the email, right? But so far as you don't have any of those things set up, you are definitely going to get an email from us with the slide and also the recorded version of this discussion. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, Toes. How soon are we expecting the one-on-one? That's Moses. So Moses, the one-on-one, the latest one should be on Monday by 9 a.m. West African time. All right. And by that time, there's possibility that the slot may be gone. So what I'm advising you is secure your spots. And then when you are registering, select that. Instead of selecting any program, select, I want to speak with an expert. And then we're going to book you for those Monday conversations and be able to help you choose a career path. Omaru is asking, how about data engineering? Data engineering is very, very heavy coded. All right, so Omaru, we'll have to look at your background, look at everything that you've done before now for us to be able to choose a befitting career path for you. So that's where all those clarity calls come in, one-on-one conversation come in. All right, it is entirely free. Okay, even if you've not made payments, in the WhatsApp groups that are coming through, you can always see a link from my colleagues asking you to book a one-on-one free consultation with us. We're going to look at your background and be able to help you select a career path that suits you perfectly. But remember, it's always best for you to secure your spots so that in the end, you're not going to hear that, oh, the discounted pricing is over, that you have to make the full price. Abiodun is saying, but if you pay first installment and decide that I'm no more interested in the program, is there an option for refund? Abiodun. Now, Abiodun, there's option for refund within a certain period of time. All right, there's an option for refund within a certain period of time because your class must have started, you must have gained something. All right, so if you've already started class and you've gained something, how are we going to refund you your money when we've taught you all those? And so it's a very, very clear policy. All right, there's a certain period of time where you can easily decide that you don't want to do again and they're going to be refunded. All right, but once the program have started and your classes have started, you are not expected to come and say, oh, I want my refund, even though you're already enjoying the classes itself. You can't really eat your cake and have it. I hope that makes sense to you. I have a lot of questions here. One is from iPad. How much coding is involved in data science, and how easy can someone with a pharmacy background break in? Now, for data science, they are not really heavy in coding. They are going to start up with coding, but it's not that very heavy. So if you're someone that made up your mind that wants to be in data science, can actually be able to get into it. I had a friend, one of the best data engineers that I know. He used to be a pharmacist, and he transitioned straight to data engineering, and he was able to get into that space. So it's also possible for you, but you have to know that you need to give it time for you to learn all those skills. Okay? I get every other correspondence from you lot, only the slide. So that is not possible. Okay, two things are involved. Either the email you are supplying to us is not correct, or something else is entirely off. Okay, there's no how we are not going to send slides to you, because this communications, this recorded version is even uploaded to the YouTube page. So it is even visibly available out there. So why can't we send it to you? Definitely something is wrong with the email that you're supplying to us, or something is making your email to bounce that exact conversation to you. I paid for the April cohort in May. Am I eligible for the 50% discount? You don't have to buy much. Okay, Bright, that's a little bit confusing. May is futuristic. How can you pay for the April cohort in a futuristic date? All right, but if you are saying if you paid in March, and if you are eligible for the April, and you want to start in April, of course you are. Now, what needs to happen is that if you paid in March, you need to make your second payment in April. You need to make your second payment here now, and then before your class starts, you have to complete your own payment. So for people that have made payments before this conversation and they've not started their own classes yet, you have that option. But now you have to complete your own payment to enjoy that same process. Okay, I meant after securing your spot. Moses, I don't understand what that means. I mean for introverts, that's Umaru. Okay, you meant for introvert data engineers. Okay, also, yeah, data engineering is great for introverts, yeah, because data engineers are fully back end. They are not interacting with anyone. It's just to write their own codes and bring it forth for people to work with. What career pathway can you recommend for an introvert, Kiro? Easily speaking, data analytics, right? As an introvert, you don't have any business going to business analytics because you are going to speaking to people. You don't have any business going to agile project management. You can move to data analytics. Okay, you can start from all those data related career paths. I hope that makes sense to you, Kiro. I don't know if we'll have only introverts on the call today, because there are a lot of introverted questions coming my way today. All right. I don't know, we may not be able to take everyone's question because there are a lot of questions. Can we book for just CV and LinkedIn review, as well as job application and interview prep? King, no, King, you cannot book just those things, okay? Because we can't prepare you for an interview when we don't know the skill that you have. Okay, we can only vouch for people that we have trained. Okay, so what is happening before now is that people are going to come and say, oh, I want to train you for data analysis interview. And when you start the conversation, you realize that they don't even know how to use Power BI. They don't know how to use SQL. They are just maybe YouTube or Udemy or Coursera trained Excel Power BI users. Now, there's a difference between learning on YouTube and learning using project-based approach. That's where the difference lies. So we can't separate our offerings and give you only employed service. No. For you to get access to employed service, you have to take one of our programs so that we are sure of what you've been able to do in the past. Do you train only on Excel, Power BI, Azure, and some other tools? Angie? Oh, no, Angie. So we don't train on specific tools for now. So it's something we are looking to also add on in the next coming months to offer those training. But for now, it is fully data analytics, data science, and program-based aspects. Okay, I'm looking for the payments page and it is £575. Is that the case? Okay, that may not entirely be true. Okay, £575. You may want to look at the link that my colleagues are dropping. Okay, Caroline, you may want to look at the link that my colleagues are dropping, because let me quickly look at the pounds equivalent and see if it's £575. But I doubt if it should be £575. So pounds, British pounds, let me see what it's telling me with respect to British pounds. So British pounds should give you around 370. All right. So unless you are clicking on the old link that we had before this discounted option, okay. So if you're clicking on the old link, that is what you are seeing, because that is the full pricing. Okay, but the new link should give you £370, like mine is showing right now. I hope that makes sense to you, Caroline. Okay, I don't know if there's any other question. Oh, there's a lot of questions actually. Oh, I probably would have started in class. It's just that the fee is huge for me, even if I pay installment. But is there no way this training fee could be reduced for us in Nigeria? You can, if you join the call earlier, you notice that people that join the call will have people from Nigeria, we have US, we have UK, we have people from a lot of places. And what I can tell you for a fact is that our program has actually been within the same price range for years now. Okay, that Nigeria economy and Naira is dancing doesn't mean that we have to now reduce our global price entirely. Okay, last year our program was going for £600, $600 rather. This year, that's when it now climbed to $900. All right, you can see that it's still within that same approach. And even with this same discount that we have right now, it's not even up to what our programs were going for last year. But what's simply happening is that the economy of Nigeria is making Naira to look like it is nothing. So it's not really on us because we are actually fully present in Canada. So because of that, we can't say, okay, let's go and price in NGN. I hope that makes sense to you, Temitope. How soon are we expecting the one-on-one Moses? Monday, 9 a.m. You have the access to book your time. You can book for 9, you can book for 12 noon, you can book for 8 p.m. or in West African time. Okay, I think there are a lot of questions. What are the training times? The time is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time, and also 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. You can only select one of them. Okay, can only select one of them. I have a couple of hands raised. Hi, Toes, please, I'm calling you up to speak. Please go ahead and speak, Toes. Let me look at the hands that are up now. Toes, please go ahead. Toes, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and speak. All right, in the absence of that, Flora, I'm asking you to unmute. Please go ahead and speak.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Uche. There are two things. First, I keep saying I don't get emails of recorded session. I've complained about this before. I do not get. I just checked now. I checked my spam. There's nothing like that. I only get when I fill the form. I've stopped anyway because the last time I complained, nothing was done. I only get requests to register. They start sending me mails to register. No link for any recorded session. Or start calling me on WhatsApp, just start bombarding me and asking me to register. Meanwhile, I don't get any recorded sessions. Sometimes I have questions and I need to go back and watch, but I don't get the sessions. That's not nice.
All right, Flora.
Number two.
All right, Flora, I'm going to actually say something now. All right, and that is this. I can ask you to share your email right now, and when you share that your email, we are going to see this email we are talking about right now. Okay, and this is a lot of people always complain. We've not seen this, we've not seen that. Elijah, I'm calling you up to speak so that I can also be able to talk to Flora and so on. But clearly, all these emails are always sent. All right, there is no reason for us not to send it. Just search the analytics and you're going to see. Elijah, please go ahead.
Right, yeah, so thank you.
Elijah can call. Okay.
So, yeah, apologies. Yeah. So now you see, and as I was mentioning to Tools to send me an email, all right? I just checked the mailing history. I see that email was sent to you, all right? All the emails. Okay. So now it's my necessary to now have recording of the session. So now, like today's email had the subject line job of the week. If you click on it, the first thing you get to see there is see below for the recording of the sessions. You need to scroll down. Just once you just open your email, that's the first banner. After the banner of the 50%, the next subject line there is see below for the replay of the sessions. And you just scroll down and you get access to the recording, right? So it's actually there. Okay, you just need to open the email that was sent. In as much as you get the analytics email, you just open it up and you see the recording of the session. So for every other person's tools as well, this is just Tools. Tools also mentioned that she did not get the email. So I just opened your history now and I can see that it was sent to you, but the email was not open. All right. So please, for every other person's tool as well, just check. Okay. I don't know who is on this set now. Let me see. I think that's Flora. So Flora, you can
that's Flora.
So you can also send in your email. All right. So you can also send in your email on the chat, and I'll probably just check now and also show you that the mail was sent to you. Even just today, we sent out emails to everybody. All right.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Elijah. So that's what I was trying to explain to everyone. These emails are always sent out. So what you have to check is look for Tonality's email, open the email, read the email. There's a link attached to it that has all these things for you. But what happens most times is that we just see the email with a different heading, like, for instance, our discussion today is how smart people can also be able to land high-paying jobs. The email can come with that same heading. All right, you're not going to say, okay, this is the recorded version for the video, for the call. No, but when you click on that email, you're going to see the link embedded in the body of the write-ups. Okay, that's how we always send our conversations. Okay, it's just we don't sometimes we don't read the email to actually see where the link is. Okay, I can see what Zami is saying. I think they don't speak. Okay, maybe not entirely that. Okay, the link is always embedded in the email. Okay, just read it. You are going to see where it is. There are a lot of questions here that I may not be able to take. Okay, there are a lot of questions in the comment section that I may not be able to take. But please, guys, feel free to book those one-on-one conversations. All your questions are going to be answered. All right. When you book all those ones, it's entirely free. Okay, you don't have to pay for us to have a one-on-one consultation to understand how to help you. Okay. It is entirely free. But just to answer just one question from Korede, do we get the same value for the 1.5 price? 100%. So if you notice, our program last month, so everything has been changed to 8 months. It's also the same 8 months program that you are getting. All right, it's entirely half price because some VCs came and said, oh, we are sponsoring 300 men, 300 women rather, and 50 men. So that's why you are getting to pay 50% of it. It's not like we are throwing the other half entirely. Someone has paid that half for you. I hope that makes sense to you, Korede. So if you go through the slide, everything that you have on my slide is actually around our achievements, okay? So like I always say, our highest employer of labor is NHS. NHS employs highest number of our students. That's because everyone is always moving towards visa-sponsored roles. And these are places where our participants work. We've done a couple of corporate social responsibilities to help people in the past where people has won a couple of money from our own organization also. Last 2 years, someone went home with $1,000. Last year, someone also went home with $2,000. So what are you waiting for? The best time to actually get into the tech space is always right now, because tomorrow it might be too late. When I got into the space, I didn't even pay close to 50,000 to learn everything I know. But today, you can see how it is for you right now. So what I would advise people is to take advantage of the discounted price that we have right now, because tomorrow you may not see that price again in any of our programs. So thank you all so much for being with us for roughly 2 hours, 30 minutes and listening to me. It's not easy to have close to 100 people listening to you for 2 hours, 30 minutes. And the next step is for me to see you in any of those classes, and we are going to continue our conversations from there. Thank you so much on behalf of the founder, Adeza Suleiman, our co-founder, Efemina Ipro, and of course, my colleagues down the coffee, and also Elijah. Thank you all so much, and we can't wait to have you in any of our programs. Cheers, everyone, and do have a wonderful day or a wonderful night rest out there. Bye, and cheers.